Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it's been 2 really long days of going through the presentations, and I'll try to make this particular topic as interesting as possible. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll talk about what is the cybersecurity status of, what's the standards which are there, and how is the railways adopting that. And I'll also talk about a few references which are there in the Indian railways as well. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of Moxa to be invited to present on this particular topic. I'm Sandeep Prabhakar, Product Marketing Manager at Moxa. Well, who are we? Who's Moxa? Well, we are a trusted partner and for reliable connectivity, computing, and networking solution that basically meet the needs for mission-critical applications. And we believe that railways is one of the applications. Just to talk about a couple of slides about our company, founded in 1987 by 5 classmates in Taiwan. And over the last 35 years, we've grown, and we're globally number 1 in terms of the serial to Ethernet connectivity portfolio, and we're number 3 in terms of the industrial Ethernet infrastructure portfolio. We've connected close to 100 million devices, and as a company, we are headquartered out of Taipei in Taiwan, where our research, engineering, design, manufacturing happen. And the India office is located in Bangalore. Our go-to-market is through channel partners. And as you can see, we have a global footprint as well. Well, out of the 1,400 employees, about 35 to 40% focus on R&D. And one of the standards that we have developed is specifically based on that as well. Well, how do we position ourselves as a company? Well, if you look at the devices at the edge and the applications, there are several applications. Well, we are right in the center where we provide the connectivity from edge to cloud for the critical applications. We have the industrial grade switches, routers, access points, the serial to Ethernet converters, different protocol converters for the industry, and the industrial computing devices. These are the main devices which are used for some of the applications like the electronic interlocking application, which is used in the Indian railways as well. Right? So we do have, we sandwich ourselves between the edge level and the application level layer. And what sort of applications do we focus on? As you can see here, factory automation, smart grid, marine, oil and gas, intelligent transportation system, and last but not the least, the railways as well. Right? If we talk about railways, we are leading the way to basically, how do we look at the digitalization of railways across the globe? And 4 of the top 5 global rail players are deploying Moxa solutions. We have more than 500 success cases worldwide in CCTV, PA, PIS systems. And basically what we also do is we take part in a lot of these working groups. So we are a part of the IEC 61375 working group. And as you can see at the bottom, we also are a part of the Shift to Rail program and the Rail Safe for Rail program, which is primarily focusing on the cybersecurity needs. And across the globe, we've had plenty of success, especially when it comes to the train-to-ground applications. And, as you can see right in the center, there are, these projects which are highlighted in yellow. And these are some of the references that we have in India, the DMRC, the Mumbai Metro and Kochi Metro, where the train-to-ground communication, specifically for CCTV applications, is being done on the Moxa products and the backbone. Well, as we go along, what we also see is that a lot of enterprises are investing in digital transformation, and they're trying to embrace the IIoT. Railways is not far behind in that. And what we see is that as the market, the trend in the market currently is the smart transportation or the train is being digitized. So you can see that there's either digitization where there are various devices on the Ethernet and the data is being pushed out onto the train. You have AIoT or IoT applications. There are a lot of sensors, and the data is being pushed onto the cloud. And of course, the cyber security, which is the most critical aspect of this particular one, where there are standards like the TS 50701, which is going to be slowly getting converted to the EN standard, and of course, the IEC international standard is also present. Now, why with all these things, what we also see as a sort of a architecture is that multiple systems are being connected together, and the most important piece over here is that how do you secure these systems? Because the more of data that you have, the more security you need to have to ensure that there is no air gap which is created. And we provide the secure gateway, which can be a part of these different systems, and you will be able to look at how do you ensure that the cybersecurity measures are considered or taken into a picture as well. What we call it, the term that we call it here is called the network segmentation. Why we are doing this is because, as we see in the last maybe 2 to 3 years, there have been a lot of cyber attacks, especially when it comes to railways. In 2020, one of the public Wi-Fi system in UK did not, the database was not correctly configured, and close to 10,000 passengers' data was exposed to the public network. In 2021, about 420 odd ticketing machines, based in the Northern Rail of UK, were forced to close due to one of the ransomware attacks which happened. And as you can see, the attacks in Denmark, and then there are attacks in Iran as well. So multiple attacks are happening on the railway systems, and so that's how the entire, the industrial automation community is working towards standardizing this. And what are the standards which are currently available? These are the ones which you can see. The most popular one right now is the IEC 62443, and that is basically going to be the basis on which the railway standard, that is TS 50701, is also going to be implemented. Now, what is IEC 62443, right? So it basically provides a flexible framework to address the risks which are there, and basically to ensure that the industrial automation control system is secure from the vulnerabilities which are already being identified. Now, as you can see on the right-hand side, there is 62443-4, which applies to a component supplier like Moxa. Then you have the system integrator. There are a lot of system integrators available over here as well. So, -3 and -2. Well, for the owner or the operator, you have the 62443-1. So basically, this provides a complete guideline or a framework for cybersecurity in terms of the 62443. Now, how does it translate to rail? Well, some of the key elements that we've identified for cybersecurity in rail are these. How do you ensure that there is a critical security device in terms of the network structure and the functional elements, the global standards? How do you ensure that your products and the solutions that are being provided are conforming to the global standards? And the third one is the managing the vulnerability. Is there any process to manage this particular vulnerability? Well, if you look at the global standard structure, it's more like a V model, and it clearly defines, at the right-hand side, as you can see, the product lifecycle should be based on 62443-4-1 and 4-2. Well, and for the implementation part, it is based on the 62443 guidelines as well. That's the TS 50701. So this particular one has a clear definition of system level requirement, and which could help us to fill in the rail application gap as well. Well, as you can see in the next couple of slides, 62443 is not only for industrial automation. Well, some of the specification which is provided in Kavach, that's the cybersecurity requirement. It also mentions the one which I've highlighted on the right-hand side. It also mentions 62443 as well as EN 50701, right? So, I think as the industry, we need to work towards this particular standard, which is going to help everybody to be on par with the technology that is being provided to the railways. How did we start? This is the history or the journey of Moxa's 62443 implementation. Started off way back in 2018 when the standard was introduced, and after that, we've got the certification in 2020, and we've started to roll out the products as well, which are based on the 62443-4-2 guidelines in 2022. And as a company, we are very proud to say that we're one of the very few companies globally to be certified for 62443-4-1. So what this does is basically it ensures that there's a platform on which we are developing the products which are safe to be deployed in the field, be it our switches or our converters or our secure routers that are pleasant. Now, the third part that I would like to cover over here is the vulnerability management. It starts with the design, maintain, and incident response. How do you look at the vulnerability which is there when you are designing a product, be it hardware or software? The second part, how do you maintain? How do you ensure that the vulnerabilities which are being exploited, which are being explored during the course of the development or when you are deploying the solutions, how are they patched in a timely manner? And the third one, most important one, which I would like to talk about is the PSRIT, the incident response. How do you do that? Well, as Moxa, we have something called as a Moxa Product Security Incident Response Team. It comprises of awareness. That's the first one. How are you making yourself aware as to what is the vulnerability which is there? We do get the information from a lot of certs across the globe, in India cert as well, and a lot of third-party researchers also can come up with the vulnerability which is present in the product and then share it with us. So that's the awareness. And then what we do is we investigate that, and after that we're supposed to take an action as to what is the next step in terms of how we are going to patch this. And finally, we are supposed to provide this information back to the public, right? So this is how we have completed our, completed the whole cycle of the awareness, investigation, and action. And this is available as a public information on our website. You can go and have a look at the RSS feed. You will be able to get a lot more information on this as well. So just to summarize, be it an operator or a train builder or a system integrator or a device vendor, the focus and the requirement will always be there. The focus for an operator or train builder will be security assessment, and the requirement is the standard. For a system integrator or a vendor like us, so we'll have the security gateway and the standards like 62443-3 and 4, which is going to be implemented. And finally, for everybody, it's pretty common. The vulnerability and the incident management is going to be pretty common. Now, we have seen all these things. I'll just take a couple of more slides to explain how do you mitigate the potential threat to the railway industry, right? So, the first one being, you need to do a network segmentation, have your policy and controls in place. One of the ways to do that is by using IPS and IDS. The next one is to create access controls. You should not leave the unauthorized access to be open, because that is a part of the way where the hackers try to get into the network. And the third one being, how do you constantly or continuously monitor and scan for these cyber security threats? There are a lot of tools available in the market, and this has to be done in order to ensure that the new threats which are detected don't go unnoticed. And the next one is to basically reduce the unpatched systems. So what we have seen is that there are a lot of systems which are running legacy operating systems, Windows 7, Windows, which is not even supported by Microsoft at the moment. So there's a lot of patching which has to be done. And finally, the cybersecurity assessment plan has to be put in place by each and every operator, so that you will be able to assess the situation and then take corrective actions. So what does Moxa have to fill in all these things is that we have the switch and the router product portfolio. We have the EN50155 Ethernet switches. We have managed, unmanaged, L2 and L3 switches, along with the secure router. Just to give a couple of examples, this is the the ToughNet series of switches that we have, which is the L2 managed switch. This is one of the I would say, world's first 62443 certified switches specifically for the train applications. And similarly, we have the TN4900 gigabit secure router, and there are multiple versions and variations of it. You can, of course, contact us later to find out more technical details and knowledge about this. And finally, I would like to end my presentation by mentioning that we as Moxa, we are a trusted partner for Smart Rail. We are an IRIS certified company, and we have a wide range of rail certified products, be it EN 50155 or 50121. We have 62443 certified products and solutions, and finally we have hundreds of global successful implementations and deployments. Well, thank you for your time, and have a good evening ahead. Thank you.